Okay, I think that is probably good. And let's continue. I feel like this is probably the best that you can get. With what I'm using. So I'm not using poly. I don't know if I'm using anything else either. Like, what if I remove that and do a .NET build? Okay. What else? So I'm not using probably this guy. And that's probably it. So if I... Okay. So that should be good. The platform file is fine. This is fine. So we're creating a service collection. We're adding logging. We're adding the CloudFormation client. We are adding in the stack manager. And then we're not doing anything with the stack manager. Okay. And then I'll probably have another stack. But that's kind of like everything I want for the program. The stack manager has... Interesting. Okay. I don't remember deleting that line. But I think that is good. And I think based off of the way that I'm using all of these, I should actually do this. Okay. What else? That's probably good. Remove that. And then what's the issue here? Oh, okay. Stack name. Oh, it's a string. Okay. I think that is good. And that means here can probably, oh no, I need that, okay. Nope. Okay. This is... Cool. And then the tests. So that's kind of everything in here, and I think that's all good now. This deployment, I think, is good. So build, upload the artifacts, test. Okay. And that just pulls, so that's fine. This needs build. This needs... test and lint. Oh no, does it need... I probably shouldn't do those two. I shouldn't rebuild here. Probably don't need checkout. Like, do I need checkout for any of this? I need checkout for this. Excuse me. I need checkout for this guy. I don't think I need checkout for this guy. I just need the build artifacts and .NET set up. And I guess I need checkout. And then this guy, I need probably just... what is this doing? Oh, this is deploying infrastructure, or running infrastructure. So I need... this builds the whole thing. Okay. And then if I look at the Docker file, that should probably help me understand. Let's go back here. .NET web.dll. Okay. Output app build. Okay, so what do we have if we do a .NET build? We probably have an infrastructure bin release, and do we have infrastructure.dll? Okay, so I want something similar to this guy, which is .NET How does it store it? Bin release. Okay, infrastructure. What is the issue here? Oh. Okay. Cool. And is region... AWS region is in the default. Like, what's the deal here? Okay, so that sets it locally. I probably don't want to do that. And then stack name doesn't become an environment variable. I mean, neither one of those should be an environment variable, really. I guess this is fine. So the build runs on Ubuntu. We check out, we set up .NET, restore, build, and we get all the bin opt release values. And then test, we download the build artifacts and we run .NET test no build configuration release. That looks fine. Lint will check out, setup.net, restore, format, that's fine. And those will run in parallel. And then deploy, build, lint, test. So I'm not doing anything with Fargate yet. So this is probably deploy infrastructure. And this is probably platform. I'll figure out all the formatting later. Permissions, okay. That should be first. Okay, and then whatever. So this is like a good enough and then I would need something similar here. I guess I do need stack name in program. Or I need like I need configuration here, which I don't currently have, because this guy should come from the environment variables. And then I need a way to construct from a string the value here. Okay. Cool. So that's kind of better than where it was. This needs a... Does this need a Docker file? I don't think it does. Because it's not going to be a container. So those are good for now. What should I do here, though? I should probably... Very good, very good, and that's fine. So that's all good for now. Infrastructure test. So I think this is good. And then this is good, except I need to update the... Okay. And I probably want a... delete function. So if we go back to infrastructure and stack manager, okay, how much did I get? Yeah, that's probably good. How do I... Can I do equals default here? Ooh, that's way better. Okay. Okay. Cool. And then is that going to be null or empty? Okay. Cool. So we can run that test. And then I think if this runs successfully, we're kind of good on the first two folders. So, yeah, this guy. And let's see if we can... I might have, like... Return the console. Can I do that? Yes, I can. Great. Okay, so this is working. And I just need to, like... Okay. Oh, that worked, but it didn't. What's the issue? Stack with ID platform does not exist. Interesting. So this is giving us a Stack Manager 38. Oh, so I need to catch this. If the stack doesn't exist, a validation error is returned. Okay, so we need to try this guy. And it's an AWS. An exception is what? A validation error. Okay. Does that exist? No. So And then what is this? This is Amazon runtime, Amazon service exception, error type. Oh, those are just values. So error type is not the... What is this? It is Amazon service exception. I don't know how to validate. Oh, is it error code? So data, error code, error type, get type. What does this return? Oh. Okay, what do we have here? Oh, is this the... Hmm. Okay, let's see if we can do this. Ooh, that looks good. Oh, I don't want to do all that. Equals. And then God, there's too much going on here. Validation error and I should look up AWS. Oh, is this like working? By the way. Thank you. Somehow I got no sound. But thank you for the follow. Okay. What are we doing here? So we are trying to look up the validation error that we're going to get. Validation. Oh, I see. Okay, so there's probably a lot. Error type, and then we can say Amazon CloudFormation dot oh, wait a minute. What are we looking for here? Okay, so we know that it's that. I'm not passing in a logger, right? Okay. Okay, let's see what happens here. the issue there? It's probably here. Yeah. I will get rid of logger for now. Or will I? Microsoft extensions logging. iLogger. Oh. Yeah? Okay, there we go. Okay. And that is true. Can I do that? No. I wonder if there is a way. Oh, that just returns from the function. Okay, so that's probably an interesting, like, thing I haven't had enough hours for, which is anything in this try block, I should invert this and put this in a function. So, like, what am I... So I'm wrapping here with the understanding that there may be an exception when something is deleted. I just want to log the error, I think. Oh, you can't? Whoa. Just do that, please. Okay, and what's the... Okay, fine. How does that work? That probably... Oh, it's an object. Oh, really? Okay. I did not know it did inference like that. Okay, and that throws. Okay, so I probably need to put everything. At least everything that uses the stack. Okay. So that should at least give me more information about the exception. And this is going to run, so I'm going to get the stack created here, in theory. Yeah. Is there a way to... What is application manager? Track application cost. Interesting. Okay. Probably something I want to use in the future. Okay, and that was deleted. And my exception was... test error. Do I log it? Yeah, this is the log. Maybe I can do this. Let's try this. Okay, I'm gonna try. Does this have audio? Add directory, bug, clear, compact, config, cost, doctor. Yeah, let's do doctor. Okay. I guess maybe I want to do... Well, how do I... All right. Okay, did that work? Okay. What's new? Okay. So we were at doctor, exit, help, ID. Okay. Init. Install GitHub app. Login, logout, MCP, memory. Okay, memory doesn't exist here. Migrate. Model. Okay. Permissions. Okay, cool. PR comments. Oh. Okay. Okay, so that all looks good. So what do I want to do here? I want to... Error, exception. Oh, is there voice? I need to... Oh, I think it's just like using the dictation service from the operating system. I want to catch the exception. The validation, just the exception. When trying to describe the stack being deployed, if the exception is due to the stack not existing, the ended stack status being to delete the stack. Okay, let's see what that helps us do. Yes, that is true. Okay, so if target status equals delete, can we use enums or semantic instead of trying to check what? Okay, there we go. Has anything else happened that I was not aware? Let me test. Okay, so that works. Interesting. When you hover over a directory, it should have a tooltip that tells you what that directory is for. Does that exist? Oh, this is really interesting. Okay. I don't think there is. Okay, so I don't think it uses context 7 when it needs to. What do I want to do? Hello. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. What does this change? Oh, validation error. Okay. This is better, but sure, it isn't any validation error, but specifically the validation error produced when attempting to describe a stack by name which does not exist. There we go. Okay. Did one search in 18 seconds. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, we're 70 seconds in. Okay. Do you want to make this edit? Sure. Let's make that edit. This is, oh, is that it? Okay. So now we can try our infrastructure test again. I really am not a fan of it. Oh, wait, what am I doing here? Okay, collection was not empty. Interesting. Let's do... Okay, let's do that. Oh, I do need to throw... Or can I say when and use just arbitrary details? Which is probably better. Okay. So when and so when the target status equals delete complete and this guy goes first. Okay, so when the target status is delete complete and the error type is the sender and validation error and this, but it should probably be stack does not exist. Okay, let's go with that and see what happens. And I wonder, is this awaiting? Yes, it is. This is awaiting. Does that wait? It does. But I suppose that's not good enough. It should be, though. Interesting. Oh, I don't like that. I guess I have to put this in the catch block condition. Oh, and this will just keep going because I don't return. Is that true? Oh, it's 10 minutes, yeah. Okay, so that's going. Cool. And what did we get? So so weird that exists. I mean, I could just go with the idea that the stack shouldn't exist. Hello. Right now, I'm writing some AWS infrastructure tests, and I'm very confused by I suppose, this like race condition between deleting a CloudFormation stack and having the resources it manages not be deleted. Which is very odd. So like what I'm doing, I have no idea if you know anything about what I'm talking about, but like you can imagine it being like cooking and cooking some kind of recipe, right? Ramen noodles and an egg, right? So there's two resources, the egg and the ramen noodles, and like you cook it, right? So the recipe or the chef cooks it, and then you eat it, right? So you remove it, and when you eat it, you would expect, if you were testing whether it was fully eaten or not, to look at the bowl and say, is there an egg in there? No. Is there ramen noodles in there? No. Okay, well then someone must have eaten everything. But with this test, for whatever reason, it's saying, yeah, the ramen noodles aren't there, but the egg is just floating in space. And yet at the same time, the person ate the egg. So it's a logical inconsistency. And like more specifically, it's one of the resources that I'm building. Yeah, no, I definitely believe that what's happening is, but it can't, right? I think it's really just the API calls. So like if you watch this may be an asynchronous relationship between the CloudFormation stack and the associated resources. So when you delete a cluster, it may be the case that AWS says, I'm good if ECS says it's going to delete the cluster, as opposed to saying the cluster has been deleted. And I, in theory, can understand why you want to make things fast, but then the semantics of this don't work, because I'm trying to make sure that once a stack is said it's done, then I'm assuming it's done, but I can't, which is a really weird thing. So all I am able to do at the end of this is say what CloudFormation says, which is if the stack is gone, then I'm assuming best intent with everything it managed. I can run this again to see, like, what would I need to look at? I'd need to have two tabs open at the same time. I'd need this guy and this guy, and I'd need ECS open, and I'd need to have clusters open like this. So if I watch this, I may be able to see the race condition. Yeah, definitely agree. Honestly though, I'm at a way better place than I was because I was doing a lot of weird AI stuff. Okay, so see, the cluster has been created. And like, this is the crazy part because like I'd need, so delete in progress, that's gone, right? So in theory, that means it's gone. So describe clusters has an empty list. Maybe I'm just calling it at the wrong time because see, that's like way past. So maybe this feels like it's awaiting though. Like 33 seconds is a long time. Describe clusters, async clusters, cluster name. Yeah, exactly. Now, the only other thing I can do is, yeah, I don't want to do any of that though. I want it to be like based on semantic dependencies. I can look at this guy because one other option is, do I have a logger here? No, I have console though. That, which is probably in a like deleting or deleted state. And it could be that I can still see deleted stacks, or clusters rather, for some amount of time. So we will wait 13 seconds, I guess, to see that result. But I think that should be, that wouldn't be the only thing that makes sense to me, is you can still get access to the data even though the UI tells you it's gone. And what do we have? Inactive. Yeah. So I think that's probably the best we can do, is we can assert, so we can get the cluster dot first, and we can say cluster, or what is this saying here? Oh, dot clusters. Okay, so I'll still use that. I think that's good. R equals, have I used cluster? Oh yeah, I have. So I'm gonna have to carry that naming into the cluster as well. After deploy. Okay. And then here, cluster after deletes. And this is just gonna be first. And then I don't need the logging anymore. And I can say, and this kind of lines up with this, which is nice, I guess. So this is going to be equal. And that looks good enough. Very weird interaction. Okay. We run that and that should work. Let's see. Cool. Okay, so I can know that's, and I guess that's as good as deleted in the ECS cluster world. So, okay, we can continue with where we're at. We're at some ungodly set of changes, and hopefully this will get to be less and less in the future. This is never the way to do this. So, infrastructure test, I'm good with that. We can keep that and just implement that next. Test was removed, so that's just a bunch of files because they were all moved to here. Or sorry, they were moved to here. So let's see, what did we change in web? Oh, okay, I want to discard that. Probably just want to discard all of this. I added comments because I was going to use like XML comments, but I think it's I'm curious if it's 12 seconds off because in the stack output you are assuming the output exists, so maybe it's validating, checking, then deleted. Sorry. No, it's all good. So what happened was the ECS cluster doesn't go away. Even though it goes away in the UI, the API allows you to retrieve that cluster in an inactive state. So like a cluster can be active or inactive, and when it's inactive it's like deleted, like it's soft deleted. And there's probably some policy about when this gets evicted from like the inactive state, and there might be like a deleted state at some point, but I can be pragmatic here. I don't really care if it's, because inactive is like about to go. There's no, I don't think you as a user have the ability to make a cluster inactive. It's cluster async, right? It assumes the data is available. Well, so the data is available till it's asserted as inactive. That's, I think I understand what you're saying, but like that's what it's doing. So the cluster, like if I look at this, when I create a cluster, you can name it. Service Connect is something else. You can say what infrastructure it uses. Actually, I'll just go ahead and create this just so we can take a look. But I don't think I can set the status of a cluster to inactive. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, that's weird that it does this in CloudFormation too. But okay, so here's this. I can probably see, I can't even see the status. So the status is like a protected. I can probably see it here maybe. Yeah, I can see it here, but I can't see, I only have update and delete. And if I go to update, I can only update the same settings I had. So this status is really just like not deleted and deleted. Also deletes the CloudFormation stack. Cool. So that's really what it is. You can think about delete. Okay. You can think about inactive for an ECS cluster as being effectively deleted, because once this goes away, and maybe I can close this. Does that stop? And I refresh this, see inactive, and it's like deleted, right? So that's, and that asynchronous idea that I can close that modal is just a weird developer experience with clusters. I don't know if any other resources work that way, but it's just an idiosyncrasy of ECS clusters. So anyways, that's kind of good. I'm okay with that, just because I have to be. I don't even know if you can activate it through an API call, to be honest with you. I don't even, like, maybe the UI uses that. ECS API. Oh god, ECS API. reference. Let's see. Okay, we'll take a look at the command line reference. Oh god, just make this full. So is there a set? So there's create, there's delete, cluster. There's describe, list, update cluster, and update cluster settings. So if we look at update cluster, name, so this is just container insights, enhanced, enabled. What is this? Configuration, logging, manage storage, Fargate firmware, yes, service connect. So this is all the UI options. So that one doesn't have anything. And then the last guy, update cluster settings, has settings. And this is probably, yeah, just container insights. So they're really, it's just a really wonky resource. The cluster has, as far as I can see, no API either through the UI or through the SDK to set its status other than by like deleting the cluster. So these are really synonyms for not deleted and deleted, which is really quite interesting when you consider all the other resources and how kind of uniform AWS is with all this stuff. And then this is like maybe one of the few exceptions. Okay, so test just went away. So infrastructure is good, infrastructure test is good, deployment is goodish. I need to do some stuff here with environment variables and all sorts of other things, secrets. But like it's kind of semantically mostly there. Yeah, exactly. You do have to delete it. That's exactly right. There's no way to set it inactive. There's no, I'm gonna make a cluster inactive and then make it active again. It's just you delete it. Yeah, I think you're kind of going to where I just went in the same way. Okay, so what have I done here? So I've added a bunch of comments and I'm just gonna remove these. I don't know why I did this. Okay, I just have to clean up after myself now. So there. And this will hopefully help my yeah, I don't need that, so that's fine. Sure, that's fine. Providers, get rid of all this. Authentication service. I think most of this is just gonna be comments, and this is gonna be like a pretty non-nullable. Yeah, that's probably good. Okay. This guy, get out of here. This guy. This one actually changed. What? I added another parameter? Oh, because the mailbox address. Okay. This is a very weird, I should probably change this. Yeah, that looks super weird. But I don't know if it was AI or something. Use some old version of MailKit and it didn't include, or it handled for you, the display name. So then when I updated, I used the .NET tool outdated, I think. Outdated packages, something to that effect. The newest version, which I think is slightly better, forces you to put the name, but then parameters are so, I don't know, they're very weird to work with in C#. You should always just use the parameters, especially in a weird situation like that. What do I have here? Just comments. Get out of here. Okay, so we're done with services. This guy we can discard. Yeah, it was Claude. I can't remember why. I think it probably just fixed it. And anyway, it's a weird relationship to have with code now, that like you're looking at your own PR commit and you don't know what is going on, and it's like, that could be me. Now we're hallucinating as developers. Okay, and get rid of app settings. Yeah, see, so it was on MailKit 2.6, and then the latest version was 4.13. So there are some wild, like, hallucinations there. This guy, okay, so this is all just new, so I should just review this. So the fixture is fine, the generator is fine, the helpers are probably fine. Yeah, exactly. We can get rid of this. Or do we want to get rid of this? I remember I built this guy. Yeah, we want to get rid of that. Okay. And I think I want to keep this. I'm so not a fan of having the trailing brace on the end of that line. Time span. Okay. Those are fine. Is that private though? It's private and it more or less says what it does. That's the only public method. Okay. Remember when I first used, yeah. 100%. There was a great Kent Beck article. Kent Beck test commit delete, something like that. Let's see. This one. Test and commit and revert. And I really like this because it is kind of the smallest feedback loop you can think of. What is this? I should read that too. I'm going to read that. It's a 2-minute read. But this one was really interesting, which is just run the test, and if it passes, commit it, otherwise revert it. And that's like the smallest thing you can do. The weird part about that is if you run the test and you don't have any, like if you're doing TDD red green refactor, like you literally, it's a chicken and egg problem. I think this is really good for refactorings, which may be where you would want to use something like Claude. So just spin up like 20 parallel threads, right? And then just continue having them run until they get exhausted on optimizations, right? Yeah, exactly. So like this to me would be a really good command for, and revert would be like start over, but this would be a really good command for like prompt being make the code better, whatever that means, right? And then this doesn't help you with this, which is what I'm trying to do. So like that to me is a really interesting small incremental change. Even writing part of the test is fine. Okay, so this is interesting because this says the expectation and the value delivered are intrinsically linked, right? Like this is saying you can't ever run this command without having run, like yeah, exactly. Hopefully that just gets better, but maybe it won't. Let's read this. Okay. Limbo on the cheap. The Limbo song asks, how low can you go? Limbo is a strategy for scaling collaboration on software projects by reducing the size of changes to be merged and increasing the velocity and reach of propagation of changes. The original Limbo paper suggests that changes should be transformations of the abstract syntax tree of the program. However, until the inevitable day when all the changes are tree transformations, which I think is where we're going, it is useful to experiment with textual diffs just to see what Limbo will feel like, what incentives it creates. Yesterday, our code camp at Iterate in Oslo spent the day coding in the cheapest possible implementation of Limbo. This paper describes our implementation and experience of Limbo in detail so that you can try it yourself. Abusing Git. Rather than have tree transformations zipping around modifying the program, we chose to use Git. Both pairs cloned the same repository, then ran the following shell script. While true, do git pull rebase, git push, done. How would we make sure we didn't break each other's code? We wouldn't propagate changes. I think the problem is scrape data the models are using, right? It's like a mixture of the best and bad. Yeah, so it's human. It's tyranny of the mob, really. Outdated and doesn't work correctly. Well, and it's not even just that it's outdated, it's that we're fallible creatures. So there's bad code out there too, even if it's new bad code. How would we make sure we didn't break each other's code? We wouldn't propagate changes unless all the tests pass. After every change, we ran this script. Test and git commit working. The test script builds the system, runs the tests, and only returns 0 if all the tests pass. We actually reverted if the test fails, but that's a tale for a different article. Cool. So this is like the fastest experience. Few conflicts. One goal of propagating tree transformations is to reduce merge conflicts. Even with 2 pairs working on a small program, though, there weren't many merge conflicts. This, to me, is the way you would use agents. So you would just constantly rebase your changes, and you would constantly test that those changes are working. And I think this is actually critical, that you have to make sure that the commit you have has both a test and the implementation. Like, this just has to run. So your atomic unit of change needs to be a test and the corresponding implementation, which is kind of interesting because it means you don't really have an opportunity as a human to get it wrong, or incrementally build out, which I think you have to test in the dark, I guess, or you have to write in the dark without knowing if you're wrong or if you're right. And that's kind of useful in some ways because sometimes you're right even though you don't realize it. A few conflicts. Small commits. The incentives of working Limbo style encourage many small commits. Commits size formed a log normal distribution. Okay, so a bunch of very, very, very small, a bunch of very, very, very small changes. And then sometimes you had more than 100 lines, but not very many times. Or I guess your predominant commit was 10 lines ish. The challenge, again, I feel like this probably hits some kind of dopamine cycle. The challenge of finding a way. Yeah, I'll put this. This is like a really useful paradigm. Is there any other articles? Oh, this isn't his own. Right, Google Docs is a good metaphor for this. Yeah, I think if you go with this and you say 10 lines, I feel like that's probably super useful as like an abstraction for review even by humans. Like just 10 lines of code, and you could read that and absorb that, and if all the tests pass, in addition, if you could see the test alongside it, that would be quite useful. The problem is like languages that express themselves in verbose ways. There's like a like I'm using a bunch of different classes and stuff. Let's continue though. Okay, so those are needed. That's needed. This, sure. Yeah, I agree. So what are we doing here? So these are our tests. These are kind of decent. And I think that's good enough for authentication. The Docker file. What is this talking about? Oh, this is web test. Fine. I'm not too concerned about that. This guy, I probably have more things than I need. I don't need that, do I? Don't need the JSON. I need the binder, I imagine. Right, so the validated configuration is doing a bunch of things. XUnit, okay, that's all good. This guy's fine. Okay. We need that for sure. The solution, cool. Directory. Yeah, that's fine. This is all good. This is fine. And package lock. That goes away. Okay, so that's kind of a good enough, huge commit, but I think it's fine. Okay, so those two have uploaded, or updated rather. Okay, let's see if we have any changes, and we can populate the commit message here. And I guess what's going to happen is the pipeline is just going to fail. Which is okay. And I should split this up. Okay. Nitpick, converting stack name. to a record type. Sure. Oh, wait. Okay, that works, that works. Consider using a logging framework. I don't know. I'll discard that for now. That's probably useful, but just not. Okay, so there's only one change. And did that actually work? So if we run this, and if this works, then I'll just build out the pipeline. Cool. And then I have to do compose, profile, test, run, web test. Okay. .exe. Okay, let's see if that all works. And if that all works, we're in a pretty good spot. Okay. What's the issue here? Command. Oh, yes, that's true. Oh. Unknown switch. Oh, right. Okay. Dash -r(m) goes before the container name. Or the service name. Cool. So those all work. So this is kind of good enough for now. Commit and push. I think I might do some launch at this point. Oh, did I commit? No, that's okay. And interesting. How is that not being included? Okay. And everything else is pretty good. Okay, so that's like it. I have so much more to do, but I feel like I have a feedback loop now, which I did not have for a very long time, which was not so great. And these actions should be like failing. Let's see. Okay, cool. Build works. Lint works. Oh, can I see the outputs? No, I can just see the status of them. Test. Be interesting to know if that works. Let's take a look at this guy. Okay, test doesn't work. And that definitely makes sense. Because it doesn't have the solution file, unfortunately. But I can fix that. Cool. So that's the next thing I'll do in the afternoon, is just get the pipeline working. A bunch of environment variables to add, secrets to add, and then these things should be working. And then I have like, which is pretty exciting, I won't have an app. I can't go to a website and do anything yet, but I'll have at least a pipeline to deploy the infrastructure for an app. I technically have an app that runs, and then I'll build out the platform, CloudFormation, and then the service and the service task and the ECR images and all that. But like, that's kind of a nice little feedback loop where you have tests and you make them run and whatever. So that should be pretty quick. And I'm like wondering whether I want to do that or I want to let AI do that, because I really want to do that. That's like a fun part for me. Oddly enough, I've heard people say that and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, but it is in some weird way. You get to see if there's new options to configure and all sorts of things. And I mean, these are decisions that someone needs to make, and it feels like it should be the human. But anyways, cool. So I'm heading out. Thanks for watching. Probably be back this afternoon to do more of the same. All right. See you later.